Have you ever looked at something tiny, seemingly insignificant,
and wondered about the vast, complex world it inhabits? We often dismiss the smallest creatures, assuming their lives are simple, driven purely by instinct.
But what if I told you that within the miniature universe of an ant colony, there lies a profound blueprint for resilience, ingenuity, and collective triumph?
A lesson for us all, if only we take the time to observe.
This is the story of Alex, a creator with an insatiable curiosity and a passion for pushing boundaries, not his own, but those of the natural world. Alex embarked on an ambitious project, a grand experiment.
Designed to challenge the very notion of instinct versus intelligence.
In one of nature's most overlooked engineers, the ant. The ant.
He sought to prove that even the smallest among us possess an extraordinary capacity for problem solving.
Adaptation, and perhaps a spark of individual genius.
He gathered a colony, a bustling metropolis of nearly 1,000 ants.
Ready to face a series of trials unlike any they'd encountered in their wild existence.
This wasn't just about survival. It was about revealing the unyielding spirit of a collective
And the surprising brilliance of the individuals within it.
Alex wasn't just observing, he was creating a stage for greatness.
A series of obstacles designed to stretch the limits of what these tiny creatures could achieve.
The first challenge was a classic, yet deceptively complex, environment. A 2D ant farm. Imagine a transparent labyrinth, layers of sand and soil compressed between glass. With tiny, tantalizing pockets of food hidden deep within its artificial depths.
For these ants, it was a brand new world, a sterile, unfamiliar landscape,
where their inherent tunneling instincts would be put to the ultimate test.
There were no pre-dug pathways, no familiar sense to guide them, only the raw potential of their collective will.
Initially, there was a flurry of confusion.
1,000 tiny lives, disoriented, yet driven by an ancient imperative.
Explore, build, find sustenance.
But within hours, the organized chaos began to take shape.
Scout ants ventured forth, their antennae twitching, mapping the unseen pathways, communicating their findings through an intricate dance of pheromones.
Then, the workers joined.
Their powerful mandibles carving intricate tunnels. A network of ambition spreading through the sandy substrate.
It was a symphony of coordinated effort, a living, breathing superorganism at work.
It was a marvel to behold.
Without a blueprint, without a leader dictating the strategy, the colony worked as one. they encountered dead ends, collapsed tunnels, but never wavered.
Each setback was a lesson. Each grain of sand moved a step closer to their goal. The energy was palpable, a testament to their unwavering determination.
And true to their nature, within a mere 8 hours,
The first tunnel broke through. The hidden food was discovered.
And a triumphant wave of activity signaled the successful completion of their initial trial.
1,000 tiny lives, faced with a novel challenge, had collectively engineered their way to victory.
success. Finally, after weeks of observation, the colony has accepted the new queen.
Their initial success, a powerful testament to their collective power and innate problem-solving abilities.
Only fueled Alex's curiosity.
Could this miniature civilization adapt to challenges far removed from their natural tunneling instincts? Could individual brilliance truly emerge from the collective in the face of unprecedented difficulty?
The next obstacle awaited.
A test of courage and ingenuity that would push them beyond the familiar Earth and into the precarious world above.
It was a challenge Alex dubbed, with a touch of dramatic flair, the rope of death.
What would happen when their feet left solid ground and their survival depended on crossing a perilous chasm?
The story of their extraordinary journey had only just begun.
The stage was set for the rope of death.
Alex had carefully strung a single, thin strand of natural fiber across a perilous gap.
A chasm that separated their bustling ant farm from a tantalizing reward. A freshly deceased
It was a challenge designed to test not their collective tunneling might, but their individual courage, their willingness to venture into the unknown, suspended precariously above a smooth, unscalable surface.
Would they risk it all for the colony?
Initially, the ants gathered at the edge of the chasm, their antennae probing the empty air, their tiny bodies recoiling from the dizzying drop.
Pheromone trails led right to the precipice, but stopped abruptly, a silent testament to the perceived danger.
Hours passed, marked by a frustrating lack of progress.
A few brave scouts would tentatively touch the string, only to retreat, their minuscule grip insufficient.
The sway of the rope too unnerving.
The insect leg, so close yet so impossibly far, remained untouched.
Alex, observing intently, realized an adjustment was needed. The string, while narrow, was perhaps too slick, too devoid of purchase for their delicate claws.
He gently replaced it with a slightly coarser thread, one that offered just a hint more texture.
More importantly, he dabbed a minuscule drop of the insect's hemolymph, its potent bodily fluid height, directly onto the string at the starting point.
A powerful olfactory lure to overcome their innate caution.
And then he appeared.
An ant, no different in size or color from his brethren, yet possessed of an extraordinary resolve.
Anthony. Alex, in a moment of playful attribution, silently christened him Anthony.
Anthony, drawn by the intensified scent, approached the new, textured string. He hesitated for a long moment, his antennae twitching, seemingly weighing the immense risk against the profound reward. Then, with a sudden surge of what could only be described as courage, he launched himself onto the rope. It was a slow, agonizing traverse. Each of Anthony's 6 legs moved with deliberate precision, gripping the rough fibers, testing the stability before advancing.
The string swayed gently with his weight, a miniature tightrope walker battling an unseen wind.
He paused, seemingly gathering strength, before continuing his arduous journey.
Inch by painstaking inch, he narrowed the gap.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity,
He reached the incept leg.
The second challenge began. Now, Anthony had to secure the prize and make the return journey.
A task even more daunting with the added weight. He grappled with the leg, his mandibles working furiously to sever a manageable piece.
Success. A sizable chunk secured, he began his slow, perilous retreat.
The return trip was a testament to his sheer will.
He stumbled. He recovered.
His tiny body, a picture of unwavering determination.
and then, to the amazement of his silent observer, Anthony arrived back at the safety of the ant farm.
Kark, the precious food clutched in his mandibles.
A single ant, through sheer grit and individual bravery, had conquered the rope of death, proving that courage knows no size.
Inspired by Anthony's heroics, Alex prepared the next trial.
The bank vault. This was a homemade contraption, a small, intricate structure fashioned from thick, layered paper.
Designed to mimic an impenetrable fortress. Inside, nestled securely, was a bounty of delicious seeds, a treasure trove for any ant colony.
The vault had no obvious openings, no visible weaknesses.
It was a test of a different kind of intelligence. Not physical prowess, but cunning and persistence against a seemingly solid barrier. Initially, the ants were unimpressed.
They swarmed the exterior, their antennae exploring every crease and corner, but found no scent, no entry point.
The paper was too thick, too smooth.
They quickly lost interest, returning to their familiar tunnels and the food brought back by Anthony.
The vault sat there, a silent challenge, for days.
Alex watched, slightly disheartened. Had he designed an impossible task?
Then, a new idea sparked.
What if the problem wasn't the ant's inability, but the vault's lack of appeal?
He gently soaked the paper vault in a solution of sugar water,
allowing the sweet scent to permeate its layers, to become an irresistible beacon.
And that changed everything.
The ants, now drawn by the potent aroma, returned with renewed vigor. They explored again, their urgency heightened by the promise of sugar.
This time, their collective efforts were focused. They began to chew at the paper, testing its integrity.
Hours of relentless gnawing followed, a slow, methodical assault.
And then, one ant, another unsung hero, discovered a minute imperfection.
It was a weakness, barely perceptible, but to an ant driven by instinct and sugar, it was a gateway. With focused determination, this single ant began to widen the breach.
Tearing at the softened paper, creating a minuscule hole.
Soon, others joined, sensing the breakthrough.
The hole grew, slowly but surely. Until one brave ant squeezed through, disappearing into the paper fortress. The vault had been breached.
The seeds, once hidden, were now within reach, another testament to their adaptability and the power of a single discovery.
The challenges were growing, but so too was their ingenuity. Alex, the content creator, felt a surge of pride.
These tiny creatures, often dismissed as mere automatons, were proving to be anything but.
They were thinkers, problem solvers, driven by an instinct far more complex than simple survival.
But the ultimate test still awaited.
It was a challenge so deceptively simple, yet so incredibly dangerous, that it had earned a dramatic title. The floor is lava.
Only in this scenario, the lava wasn't molten rock, it was something far more insidious for an ant. Super sticky tape.
Alex carefully constructed the final arena.
A small, vibrant red strawberry, glistening with sweetness, sat tantalizingly at the far end of a designated path.
Between the ant colony's entrance and this delicious reward lay a series of strips of the most aggressively adhesive tape he could find. Alex, these strips were laid out like a perilous obstacle course, a maze of microscopic flypaper.
The very thought of it sent shivers down Alex's spine, imagining the tiny legs struggling against the overwhelming stickiness.
Initially, the ants approached with their usual exploratory zeal, but their confidence quickly evaporated. The first few brave scouts ventured onto the edges of the tape, only to find their delicate legs instantly entangled.
A desperate struggle ensued, their tiny bodies writhing, trying to pull free.
Some managed to escape, leaving behind a leg or two, a stark warning to the others.
Many, however, were not so lucky. They became permanent fixtures, tiny, tragic monuments to the tape's unforgiving grip.
A palpable sense of fear seemed to spread through the colony.
The lure of the strawberry, no matter how potent, was not enough to overcome the immediate visible danger.
The ants huddled at the edge of the sticky expanse, their antennae waving frantically, sensing the peril, but unable to devise a solution.
Days passed, and the strawberry, a symbol of their final triumph, remained untouched.
Alex began to wonder if he had finally pushed them too far, if this was the one obstacle that truly was insurmountable.
He watched, almost holding his breath, hoping for a sign. a flicker of that extraordinary ingenuity that had...
Then, just as despair began to set in, he saw it.
Strider didn't rush. It paused, its antennae meticulously tapping the surface, testing, sensing.
It seemed to understand the nature of the threat.
Instead of simply walking, Strider adopted an entirely new strategy. It moved with an almost agonizing slowness.
Lifting each leg with deliberate care, peeling it away from the tape's surface rather than pulling.
It was a painstaking dance, a ballet of survival.
Pioneer would place one leg down, lightly, then slowly, carefully lift another, almost rolling its foot to minimize contact.
Alex watched, mesmerized. This wasn't brute force. It was calculated, intelligent movement.
Pioneer even seemed to identify less sticky spots, tiny imperfections in the adhesive, using them as stepping stones. It was a testament to individual observation and adaptive learning.
The journey across the first strip of tape took what felt like an eternity.
Each step was a battle, a small victory against an invisible enemy.
But Pioneer persisted. Slowly, painstakingly, it navigated the first strip, then the second.
The other ants, sensing a breakthrough, gathered at the edge, observing, perhaps even learning from Pioneer's incredible feat.
Its progress, agonizingly slow, but undeniably steady.
Finally, after what seemed like an epic voyage, Pioneer reached the strawberry.
It paused, its body quivering slightly, before taking a triumphant bite.
The sweet reward was well-deserved, a symbol of its unparalleled courage and ingenuity.
It didn't just reach the food. It had conquered the impossible, proving that even the most formidable lava could be...
This wasn't just about food. It was about demonstrating an extraordinary spirit, one that refused to be defeated.
The ant colony had faced its greatest challenge yet, and through the singular, heroic effort of one tiny Argent... What incredible lessons these tiny creatures held for us all, if only we were willing to watch and learn.
The triumph of Pioneer on the treacherous floor is lava was etched into the annals of this tiny colony's history.
It was a moment that transcended mere survival. It was a testament to the power of observation, adaptation, and an unyielding will.
The colony, having seen Pioneer's success, now carried a new kind of confidence.
It's a quiet understanding that even the most impossible-looking obstacles might just yield to the right strategy and enough patience.
But the journey of discovery, for both the ants and for me, was far from over.
I wanted to push their cognitive abilities further, to test not just their physical endurance or their capacity for innovative movement
in the face of a different kind of puzzle. And so, I introduced what I affectionately dubbed the bank vault.
For days, the ants showed little to no interest. They walked over it, around it, occasionally paused.
The vault, to them, was just another inert object in their environment, offering no obvious entry point, no enticing scent.
It was a stark reminder that motivation often needs a catalyst, a clear signal that a reward is not only present, but attainable. This was the challenge of perception. How do you convince a colony that a treasure lies hidden within an unyielding wall?
I realized my mistake. The reward was too well hidden. It lacked the immediate sensory cues that ants rely on.
So I decided to give them a hint, a whisper of the sweet promise held within.
I carefully soaked the outer layers of the paper vault with a diluted sugar solution, just enough to release a faint, irresistible aroma.
The change was immediate and dramatic.
The air around the vault, once ignored. Let it.
This wasn't a random search. It was a targeted investigation, driven by a powerful chemical signal.
For hours they explored, searching for a seam, a weakness, a way in. Yet, the vault held firm. Then, she appeared. A small, unassuming ant, whom I decided to call Digger. Unlike her sisters who were still frantically searching the surface, Digger paused at a particular spot. A tiny...
Perhaps it was a slight imperfection, a spot where the sugar water had penetrated a little deeper, softening the fibers just enough.
She began to work, not with the frenzied energy of exploration, but with a focused, methodical determination. It was slow, painstaking work. One minuscule fiber at a time, she was carving a path. This was pure, unadulterated grit, the kind of persistence that chips away at an obstacle until it yields.
I watched, captivated, as Digger spent what felt like an eternity, her head bowed in concentration, her body vibrating with effort.
Slowly, painstakingly, a tiny breach began to form. First, a pinprick.
Then a small hole, barely wide enough for a single ant.
Digger squeezed through, disappearing into the dark interior of the vault.
A few moments later, she re-emerged, her mandibles clutching a precious seed. The signal was clear. The vault was breached. A surge of communication rippled through the colony.
They helped enlarge the opening, their collective effort transforming Digger's initial pinprick into a bustling doorway.
Soon, a steady stream of ants flowed into and out of the vault, carrying away the hard-won bounty. The bank vault, once an impenetrable enigma, had been cracked, not by superior strength.
It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come not from grand gestures, but from the relentless, focused application of effort.
The ants had faced physical challenges, navigational puzzles, and now, a test of pure ingenuity and persistence.
Each trial revealed a new facet of their remarkable intelligence and their unwavering spirit. And yet, there was still one more lesson these incredible creatures had to share.
And so, with the lessons of Diz persistence still resonating, I unveiled the final.
But this wasn't metaphorical lava. It was a physical barrier designed to be almost insurmountable for creatures of their size and physiology. I had meticulously laid down strips of super sticky, double-sided tape, creating a treacherous labyrinth across a flat surface. The reward, glistening tantalizingly at the end of this adhesive gauntlet, was a single, ripe strawberry.
My intention was simple: to push their limits, to see if their collective intelligence and individual ingenuity could...
I watched as the first scouts approached the shimmering, translucent strips. One brave ant tentatively placed a leg onto the edge of the tape. Immediately, it stuck.
The ant struggled, pulling with all its might, eventually managing to free its leg with a visible pop.
A message of caution, of extreme peril, spread quickly through the approaching ranks. For a long while there was hesitation. The ants congregated at the edge. They explored the perimeter, searching for a way around, a loophole, anything but a direct confrontation with the sticky surface.
But there was no alternative. The strawberry lay squarely on the other side of the lava river.
It was a stalemate. Had I finally found their breaking point?
Then, from the milling crowd, a lone figure emerged. I named her Strider.
She approached the tape, not with the trepidation of the earlier scout, but with a deliberate, almost contemplative air.
She paused at the very edge, her antennae sweeping back and forth.
not just sensing the stickiness, but perhaps
What I witnessed next was nothing short of astonishing.
Strider carefully, painstakingly, placed one leg onto the tape, then another. She didn't pull back in panic. Instead, she began a slow, methodical process of unsticking and resticking. It was a dance of incredible precision and patience. Each leg would press down, adhere, and then, with a subtle shift in angle and a powerful, controlled pull, lift free.
She wasn't fighting the stickiness. She was learning to navigate it, to work with its properties rather than against them.
It was an arduous journey, each step a miniature battle against an invisible force.
I held my breath, watching as she inched forward, her tiny body a beacon of courage against the overwhelming odds.
The other ants, still hesitant at the edge, seemed to sense the gravity of Strider's mission. Her legs would sink slightly into the adhesive, her body would strain, and then, with a delicate maneuver, she would free herself.
Her focus remained solely on the strawberry, a distant, sweet promise that fueled her every painful step.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Strider reached the other side. She had done it.
She had successfully walked across the floor as lava by herself, demonstrating a level of individual resilience.
She didn't immediately grab the strawberry. Instead, she paused, as if savoring the triumph.
Before finally making contact with the sweet fruit.
A new path had been forged, not through strength or tunneling or even collective effort, but through...
As I watched Strider finally reach the strawberry, a profound realization settled over me.
This wasn't just an experiment, it was a masterclass in resilience, a living testament to the indomitable spirit that exists even in the smallest of creatures.
From the intricate tunneling of the 2D ant farm, where the colony had to collectively decipher the labyrinthine paths to sustenance,
to the audacious solo journey of Anthony across the rope of death.
And the ingenious breach of the sugar-soaked bank vault, these ants had consistently defied my expectations.
Each obstacle I had painstakingly designed to challenge their limits, they had met with an adaptive intelligence that was truly awe-inspiring.
They weren't just reacting, they were learning, they were adjusting, they were, in their own microscopic way, innovating.
The initial hesitation, the moments of apparent defeat, were not signs of weakness, but phases of contemplation. The quiet emergence of a single, brave pioneer. It was a beautiful, complex dance between individual brilliance and communal support.
The colony benefited from the daring of Anthony, the persistent tunneling of countless nameless ants.
These special ants, as I had come to think of them, were not just exceptions. They were catalysts, inspiring their...
My initial intention was to test their intelligence, to push them to their breaking point. But what I discovered was...
They taught me that true intelligence isn't just about solving a problem once. It's about adapting to any problem, no matter how novel or daunting. It's about the courage to try, to fail, and adjust, and to try again.
It's about the small, unheralded acts of bravery that, when combined, can move mountains. Or in this case,
my respect for these tiny architects of survival had grown immeasurably.
They hadn't just survived my challenges, they had conquered them, often with an elegance and determination that mirrored the greatest human endeavors.
as promised, the time for struggle was over. It was time for their reward.
I had prepared a brand new, custom-built ant farm, a sprawling, multi-chambered habitat designed for comfort and ease.
It was a haven, a safe harbor after their epic journey.
Watching them explore their new home was a deeply satisfying moment.
carrying their larvae and queen into the clean, spacious chambers.
They deserve this peace, this prosperity, earned through their incredible perseverance.
Their journey was a microcosm of life itself.
It was a reminder that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth.
That within every one of us, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, lies an untapped reservoir of strength, ingenuity, and courage.
There will be times when we feel stuck in a tunnel.
Or face a chasm that seems impossible to cross.
Or encounter a barrier that appears impenetrable.
Or even find ourselves on a floor is lava of overwhelming difficulty.
But remember the carpenter ants.
Remember Anthony, who dared to cross the void.
Remember the clever ant who found the sugar-soaked weakness in the vault.
Remember Strider, who painstakingly, step by determined step, traversed the impossible.
It's a testament to the power of individual effort, the resilience of a collective spirit,
And the unwavering belief that with enough patience, enough courage, and enough determination, any obstacle can be overcome. So, when life presents its next challenge, ask yourself, what would the ants do?
And then, just like them, find your path, one brave, determined step at a time.
The reward, I assure you, is always worth the journey.